Good morning, Dancing with the Stars fans. Thank you for tuning into ET Live. I have a two-time mirror ball champion here today, Kym Herjavec. Welcome.
Thanks, Lauren.
I am so glad you're here.
I'm happy to be here.
You guys, she is just the loveliest, and we're going to get into what was an amazing episode of semifinals. Of course, we want to know what you thought of the elimination of who is remaining as we head into the finals next week. And any questions that you have for Kym, you can leave on ET's Facebook page right now. So let's dive in, my dear, with talking about the elimination, because this has been a season of shocking eliminations.
It really has. It's been some shockers. That double elimination that we had ages ago with Vanessa Lachey and Nikki Bella, that was a shocker for me.
Yeah.
And they did not know that it was a double elimination. I spoke to Adam afterwards and he had no idea. So they were completely
just
blindsided by it. And then last night as well, I mean, it's just it's so difficult. I guess you would think that maybe Drew or someone that was down the bottom may have gone, and when they saved them early on, it was like, who's going to go, you know?
It was so hard to watch last night for a couple reasons, I thought. One, because even in her package right before that, Victoria had said, I want to make it to the finals. She wanted it. And her face when they said her name, if we have that clip.
Oh, it just...
It was painful.
It was really painful. I felt for her so much.
I felt like, even though it's been a season of shocking eliminations because the talent is so great, that was the most painful reaction to watch
really
so far,
was. It was really heartbreaking to get that far. I think the semifinals, it's the worst because you've almost made it to the final, but then you just miss out. So it's always so hard when you're the couple that's eliminated. Because once you make the final, it's all, you've made the final.
You're happy to be there.
You're so happy to be there. And it's kind of whatever happens, happens. But that couple that just misses out on the final, it's heartbreaking because quite often you know what you're going to do for your freestyle. You have the song picked out. You're excited to, to be able to do it. And then it's sort of cut short. And... I mean, Victoria's been incredible the whole season.
Yes. Oh, so I didn't. So with semifinals, you're kind of already even thinking about your finals.
Oh, yeah. So you'll know. Well, the celebrity really won't be thinking about it too much, but as the pro, you're always thinking of the next step ahead. So normally you get your music on the Saturday or the Sunday before the Monday show. So you kind of know what you're going to be doing. So sometimes I would even on a Sunday night after I'd leave rehearsals start thinking of the next week just in case, just to be prepared. So I know a lot of the pros would already have been thinking about what they're doing for the next week.
Well, it was nice to see how much Val comforted Victoria, and you could hear a little bit of what he was saying on his mic, and he was just saying,
"I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, you have nothing to be sad about. You made it this far." But it was hard because, excuse me, she was here last week in our studio.
Really?
And talking about how she was so excited to do contemporary that they'd been saving it. And she had such an emotional story. It almost made me wonder. It's just hard because, you see them have a great night, but then they're sent home. Like last night she got
if
10.
it was because the scores were from the week before.
Do you think they should have done contemporary sooner? Do you think that would have made a difference?
I don't know if it would have made a difference. I don't know. It was an amazing routine. They had 2 great numbers last night. It's hard to really say, isn't it, if it would have worked. But, I mean, I'm glad she got to do this beautiful dance.
Yes, and to honor her parents who have been in the audience every week. Have you met them at all?
I haven't met them, no. But Victoria I've met quite a few times. They were actually rehearsing in my studio in the beginning. And she's the nicest woman.
Yes.
Her story, she's so inspirational. It's just unbelievable, her story.
It really is. I don't think this is in any way the end of the line for her. I mean, she's got a book coming out next year, she told us, and it was nice to see her get a couple 10s last night and to tell that story with her parents. And
I know, but I mean, talk about a fighter and someone that can get through anything. I think she's probably competitive and she wanted to get to the finals, so it is really disappointing.
Well, right, and when you look at the scores, I mean, last night it was Jordan and Lindsey with 58 out of 60, Lindsey and Mark 57, and Victoria and Val 56.
So they were up there.
So
they probably didn't even think it was going to be them. They were probably thinking that they were okay because they were further up in the leaderboard. So for that to happen, I think it was more of a shock to her as well.
Yeah, Totally.
You know?
Well, we want to know what you guys think. Were you completely shocked? Because we were. And if so, who do you think maybe you expected to go home? Also, it was nice to see. I liked Val giving a little shout out to Jenna.
Yeah, that was sweet.
That was sweet. Are they just like
they're the
in
cutest,
love at this point?
They're so in love. They're the cutest couple. They're adorable.
I love romances that come out of the dance floor.
I know, there's so many.
You included.
There's so many now.
Ari says, Shannon says, best show ever. Love you, Cami, and the story of your romance.
Oh,
we'll get
thank
into
you.
that. I love that romance too. And Shannon says, Dancing with the Stars. Oh, it's the best thing. We're just a lot of love for you and your romance story.
Oh, that's so sweet. That's so sweet.
So Jordan and Lindsey, they were at the top with 58 out of 60.
Every week, they blow me
insane.
away. It's insane. They are so good. And Lindsey, I have to say, her choreography has been unbelievable every single week.
I really feel, and I'm a huge fan of hers, but she's so young. You forget she's only, I think, 23.
Yeah.
And I really feel like her choreography this season has gotten to another level.
Well, I guess, she can do so much with Jordan. So there's so much that she can do. It's like doing pro numbers every week.
It's crazy.
But they are unbelievable. So, I think going into the finals, they're the number one pick for me to take it out. But you just don't know what's going to happen, what the votes are. You don't know who's voting for who.
Right. Well, and it's been interesting to watch Jordan because I think he maybe was one of the people who had a fan base, certainly, but maybe not the biggest one.
Exactly.
So I guess it means people really vote on that dancing talent.
Yeah, I really think they do.
Yeah.
But Jordan and Lindsey, they're probably my favorites. I think they're so great to watch, and he's so down to earth. He's so humble. I've met them, quite a few times as well, and he's a really lovely guy. And he's got an amazing story as well.
I was going to say, and I also feel like they have done an awesome job of showing us his story slowly week to week. I mean, then last night you find out he's got these siblings he looks after, and I just didn't know that either.
Me neither.
Jordan, so many layers.
So many.
And then, so last night, the judges were a little harder on their first dance. Did you agree with that?
Weren't they? The judges, I was surprised. I'm like, it's the semifinals,
I almost felt like, did they need to knock Jordan down a peg a bit to give that drama, or are they so hard on him because they know how good he is?
I think they're so hard on him because they know how good he is week in and week out. And I think it was an interesting song choice for an Argentine tango, so I could agree with what Len was saying.
That the Argentine tango was like
fiery,
sexier, but it was emotional.
It's
with
this
them
passion, and so it was a different take on an Argentine tango with their story of the brother figure, and it wasn't that sort of sexiness that you normally get with an Argentine tango, but I found it had the subtleties in the dance that I loved, and I think they did a great job with the song they had, choreographing it and dancing it as well. I think they executed it really well.
Yeah, Len had interesting commentary. He said the Argentine tango is what you dance with your mistress.
I know, and Lindsey's face when he said that, she was like, okay.
Okay, Len. Would you agree with that assessment?
You know what? It's almost like no one should be watching. The Argentine tango. It's passion, it's fire, it's a romance as well. So there's like this romance and it's passion. So there's all these different layers in the Argentine tango.
Okay. Maybe it doesn't have to be with the mistress.
It doesn't have to be with a mistress. No.
Casey says that she would love to see you and Robert back on the dance floor. You guys do a little dancing in your own life, though, right?
Yeah, sometimes. Robert loves to dance. He really does. And sometimes, if we're out at a friend's place and music comes on, like he'll be like, is this a salsa? Is this a cha-cha or something? And he knows the basics now. So he'll grab me and do a few moves, but yeah, we sort of hung up the dance shoes.
You have.
Yeah.
Is it, and I mean, what if it was a thing where they wanted you back for another All-Star season or something like that?
I don't know. I think we had our moment.
Okay.
I don't know.
A great thing came out of the moment.
Yeah, I think we're like, thanks Dancing with the Stars,
Gidget says, love Jordan and Lindsey, and she thought Drew would go home. Jenny says Jordan and Lindsey should win. And Carol was shocked. She thought that Victoria would be going to the finals. I mean, Drew definitely was far down the leaderboard last night, 48 out of 60.
Well, that just shows you he must be getting so many votes. I mean, he's so popular. People love the Property Brothers.
Yeah. I forget, are the votes open to Canada? Because
yes,
he's from Canada.
This is the first time they've been open to Canada. So he's got all of Canada voting as well.
He's got
as all
two
of
countries.
his fans here in America. So I think he's got a massive fan base.
Yeah.
And the low scores didn't seem to affect it at all. So, he's entertaining, he's endearing, and he's
he
improved.
wants it so much.
He really does. He's really improved from from week 1 to now, you can see the dramatic improvement that he's made.
Now, I wanted to ask you, so last night, getting back to Jordan and Lindsey for a minute, so we had the recreation of the dances last night. They recreated Paige and Mark's iconic
pressure.
jive. What did you think of that theme?
When I heard they were doing that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's so much pressure to put on the couples, especially the celebrities. But I love that they had their own take on it. So it really wasn't a complete comparison. But this jive, it's probably the best jive I've ever seen on Dancing with the Stars. It was unbelievable. It was like non-stop, action-packed with proper jive, entertainment value. The jive is a really, really hard dance to do, technically. So to pull that off and then to keep the entertainment level up there was really impressive.
Can you give us a little bit of perspective as a pro on just how hard what Jordan is doing is? Because I think the thing is they make it look easy.
That's the thing. They do. They make it look so easy. And, I'm sure he's had some dance experience, but he hasn't done ballroom dancing, which is completely different. It's such a different style. And he's just picked it up so well. He looks like a pro out there.
Wow.
The timing was great. The way he was dancing with Lindsey was perfect. His partnering skills.
I mean, Len dubbed it. Len said there have been great jives on the show. There have been amazing jives. And now we're going to call this the Jordan jive. I'm going to throw this out there. Is he the best dancer in the history of the show?
I feel like he is. I'm
Really?
going to put that out there. He's just amazing. He's so natural as well. I think he's probably the best because, you've got the ballroom as well where you have to have the good frame, and he's doing that. He's got the Latin down. He's a performer. He comes out and just sells every dance that he does.
Right. And I've heard some other pros have said that does he have the right body type for a male dancer? Kind of smaller?
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
He's got the right body type. And
Killing it.
Just like the two of them together, I think they're just adorable together as a partnership.
What other names pop in your head as kind of the best celebrity dancers in the history of the show, just off the top of your head?
Oh my gosh, there's been so many amazing ones.
You and Donnie went together.
Oh, Donnie was great. Hines Ward, he was obviously had no dance experience, but he was a real natural. When I was teaching him, teaching it like the samba, which is a really difficult dance, and he got it. And I was like, wow. So he was really good, and obviously having no dance or performing experience, that was great. But there's been so many amazing.
It was fun to do the theme to kind of go back to some of those dances last night. I'd forgotten some of them, so that was super
Apollo
fun.
and Julianne, I'll never forget that one because I was dancing with Joey Fatone, and that was, I think, in the semifinals or something they did that dance, and I was like, oh my gosh, because I remember it was like such an amazing dance, and Joey and I were like, uh-oh, because we were like winning, then they were winning, and they ended up beating us, but anyway.
Gwen says, don't get me wrong, love the Property Brothers, but Drew just comes across awkward on the dance floor. It was a little bit of an awkward moment for me with the kilts.
I know. It was revealing, as Carrie Ann said.
It was revealing. And Miro, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, says Jordan's jive was out of this world.
Well,
I agree.
Really was.
So Lindsey and Mark were right behind them, though, from 50. Oh, and Jordan dancing with a scratched cornea.
I know.
You guys, we were on the red carpet per usual, and you can watch all those interviews tonight on ET. And Jordan was like in tears during the entire interview because his cornea is
I thought he was upset after the tango dance because I didn't know what was going on with his eye. I thought that he was just emotional after doing the dance. And then when they
nailed to the eye. Yeah. And Lindsey was hurt. I mean, this seems like it is really that time in the competition where people are exhausted, where injuries happen.
Yeah.
Is that a concern?
This is definitely the time in the competition because you're really pushing yourself to the limit. I find the semifinals are always the most exciting because everyone's trying so hard to get into the finals. So everyone pulls out all the stops. Myself, I had a really bad injury with Hines Ward when he dropped me on my neck. And that was because we were trying to do lifts that had never been done before. It was getting into the semifinals. So I ended up really hurting myself, and Cheryl Burke was going to step in and replace me. And then they sort of gave me clearance just the last second. But I could feel for Lindsey, and I know Whitney was injured as well, because you've come so far, and just the thought of you not being able to go to the end with your celebrity, it's so heartbreaking.
Are there, we'll get into it, Drew and Emma tried a crazy move last night as
well.
I know! Are there ever times when the show tells you, no, you cannot do that move, that is too risky?
After my incident, because it was really quite bad, they did have a talk to all of us about lifts and safety and things like that. Because at the end of the day, the celebrities, they don't know what they're doing, and
they're trusting you.
They're trusting us, and especially for the female pros, we're putting ourselves up there with these guys that really, you know, don't have experience lifting. They're pretty new. For the guy pros, it's a little easier because they're in control in a way. So, but you have to push yourself. Like, the competition is so fierce now. It's just getting better and better and better. So, as a pro, you're wanting to do things that haven't been seen on the show before, that are different. So you do push yourself, and it can be dangerous at times.
Yeah, that was nervous to. We'll get it.
It was nervous to watch. I was like,
Kym said, or Lisa says, Kym would love you to return to the show. Of course, we're getting this a lot. People wondering, are you going to come back? Are you going to be a pro again? Was your last time with Mr. T?
Yeah, well, okay. I'd left after Dancing with Robert.
Yes.
I decided to have a break, and I actually went back to Australia to judge the show there, which I love doing. I spend some time at home in Australia with my family. And so I kind of thought, thank you, Dancing with the Stars. I met Robert. We got married. So I sort of hung up the dance shoes, and then they called me and they said, will you come back for this season? It's actually going to be Mr. T. And I was like, how can I say no to that? So dusted off the dance shoes and went back for that season, which was really fun. But I don't think I'll go back to dance again.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I mean, never say never, but yeah, it was a fun season with Mr. T. But I don't think I'll go back and dance.
Was it a situation where he had wanted you as his pro?
I'm not sure. Okay. I'm not sure what happened, but it was, I was really honored to dance with Mr. T.
Is there anybody you would come back for if it was a celebrity and they were like, I want Kym?
Oh my God. I used to always say George Clooney.
Oh, well, sure.
Because seriously, when I was dancing, because I did the show in Australia first, and then they flew me over here to do the American one, I was like, oh my gosh, they're bringing me to the States to be on the show. Like, this is insane. Like, I bet I'm going to get someone huge. So all my girlfriends were like, I bet it's George Clooney or Leonardo DiCaprio. Like, we were thinking that. Because in Australia, quite big people did it. And in my head, it was someone really big like that. And you don't know who you have until you get to the studio. And I was there, and the producers sat me down and they said, well, we just want to let you know this is the biggest star we've ever had on the show. And I was like, it's George. Like, oh my gosh.
Gotta be George.
And so they said, you're going to walk in the door and you'll know who he is because he's so famous. And I was like, okay. So I open the door, I walk in thinking something like George, and there's Jerry Springer. I was like, oh,
hi.
Hi.
Your voice gets all hi. You look just like George Clooney.
Yeah. So that was funny.
But
he ended up being he's one of my dearest friends, and I love Jerry Springer. Yeah.
Still stay close with him. Well, it would be nice to stay close with George too.
Right.
Rochelle says, yeah, Jordan's and Lindsey's dance was amazing. I think he's got it to win. They're so cute and a great dance duo. Agreed. And again, such a great combination of storytelling and dancing. Mari says that lift Drew did was not a good idea. It was danger in a bad way. I was freaking out the whole time.
It was really freaky. I held my breath. I was like, oh my God.
I mean, we'll get into it, you guys, because we have to almost show it again. So Lindsey and Mark were right behind with a 57 out of 60. They did contemporary and recreated Max and Meryl's tango.
Yes.
Victoria and Val with the 56 out of 60. We talked about
I know.
that.
They had the best night. I think they were the two of their best dances as well.
I know. A good note to go out on,
exactly.
though. So Frankie and Whitney, 51 out of 60. I love Frankie's packages each week. He's so funny. He's so likable.
They're both so adorable together, and I think that's what's got him so far, because people have just warmed to him. He generally gets so nervous. It's just the way it is. He freaks out.
We had him here in the studio, and he was talking about that. And I liked that Len told him, you got to get confident. And I did think he got a little better. We had a shirtless Frankie moment.
I know. It was so cute. I love Frankie and Whitney, and I think people have just warmed to them. And he's improved as well, but their routines are great. I think Whitney's been really clever in choreographing to his strengths. So I think she's done a really good job with that.
It's always interesting to hear from the pro, because we don't see, as the viewer, we don't see these choices pros are making about which moves you should or shouldn't do based on this person.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to think about that so much.
A lot goes into it. Yeah, you really, and each season's so different, gosh, I've done 16 seasons, and people are like, don't you get bored with it? I'm like, no, because each celebrity that you have brings out something so different in you teaching them, and you've got to really cater to them and bring out the best in them. So it's always so different and a different challenge.
Frankie is so fun. Ed says, I think Frankie is the most genuine of them all, not to take anything away from anyone, but he deserves to win because he really wants it.
Oh my gosh, he's adorable.
He's so much fun, and I can't believe it took him this long to do the show. I asked him about that, and he's like, yeah, it just felt like the right time, and he was really probably just too nervous to do it before.
Probably.
Drew and Emma. Okay, let's talk this lift. A 48 out of 60. Have they gotten 10s yet?
No, I
They
don't.
have not.
I think they've the highest is 9.
Yeah,
so
I
they
mean,
haven't had any 10s.
I think Emma is amazing, and the task to recreate a Corbin Blue routine, especially when we just seen him on the show last week with Jordan.
That was some big shoes to fill.
Big shoes to fill, and Drew is such a different dancer, as she said. So this lift, I mean, what would you call the lift that they did, Kym?
Oh my gosh, the death spin. I don't know. It was crazy.
Were you shocked that they let them do that?
I was really shocked. I think it looks so crazy as well because of his height. So there was so much distance. You know? It was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
By the way, guys, you can check out that lift. We kind of did a whole moment on it at etonline.com, so you can see it there. It was just. I mean, even in the package, I don't know if they added in a sound effect, but it almost sounded like her head hit the floor for a second.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know if they added that in, but it definitely sounded like she hit her head on the floor.
I was literally drinking wine watching last night, and I was like, oh my God.
I know. Yeah, Robert and I were at home watching. We're like, oh my gosh, what are they doing?
Because I think when she said, I mean, that was something where if she'd hit her neck or head, that would have been really bad, right?
Really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been really bad. So, I mean, thank goodness they pulled it off. And it was a wow moment.
It was. It was a wow. Oh my God. Trudy says Frankie is the most improved and she loves him. I agree.
Me too.
It's, Drew also, I think, wants to be there so badly, but it is kind of crazy when you look at the points. I mean, Jordan and Lindsey, a 58 out of 60. Drew's 10 points behind him with a 48 out of 60. What do you think from here anybody or everybody needs to do heading into the finals?
That's the thing. So now they're in the finals. The freestyle is what really everyone looks forward to. So they're going to be focusing a lot on that. And that's where you really want to bring out your celebrity's personality. And the judges will be looking for that. So they're all incredible choreographers, all of the pros that are left there. So they'll come up with some amazing routines. But yeah, the final is where you will see, the judges will score it appropriately. But it's really up to people at home that's going to determine who wins it.
So when you're doing the choreography for that finals number, how much is there any output or help or, just running things by other people? Like, is Mandy more involved with the individual numbers? Mandy's she's incredible. And you can definitely go to Mandy and say, I'm thinking of doing this. What do you think? And they'll give you input.
There's an amazing team at Dancing with the Stars. As you can see, the production value has just gone through the roof. Back in the day, I'd ask for a chair and they'd be like, I don't know. And now there's these elaborate sets and things like that. So you can sit down with the production team as well, and they'll have some ideas about different sets and props and creative. So there's definitely a lot more help that's available to you if you want that, which is great.
Yeah.
And it just makes the production of the show so much better.
Oh my gosh. I mean, every week I'm like, these costumes, these sets, it's out of this world. They've now have these awesome studios where everybody can go in there, the official Dancing with the Stars rehearsal studios. It used to be, when ET went for a set, we'd go to some random building in LA.
That's the thing, they were all over the place. We used to have a special, studios where we'd rehearse at. There was 6, 7 studios, and then they lost it. And now they've got it back, and it just makes it makes it so much easier.
Sandra says, Kym, you are so genuine. You are missed on the show. Yes, she's
thanks,
very
Sandra.
And Anne said she loved Victoria and Val's dances. So sad to see them go. Now, let me ask you. I mean, we've been talking about this all season. It's the 25th season. Overall, has this been the highest level of talent you've seen?
I think the standard has definitely been the highest this season. It's just been incredible, and I know that the pros kind of push each other. But I'm sitting at home watching wow. I'm glad Mr. T and I aren't on this season.
Well, and having made this decision, it seems like that you don't really want to come back as a pro. What's behind that? Are you just...
I think, I'm at an age where it's I don't want to be the one that's why is she still there?
Well, nobody feels that way.
Oh, that's so sweet. But I've had, You know, I've been on since season 3, so I've been there from pretty much the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm one of the OGs.
Yes.
And you know, Cheryl's back this season, which is nice. They often bring back one of the OGs, which is nice to sort of throw that in. But I think I've had my day, you know, and I don't want to be there like, oh, she should have hung up the shoes a while ago. I'd rather sort of leave on a high note.
Well, I don't think anyone feels that way, and everyone loves watching you. So could we see you come back as, I loved when you guest hosted, or as a judge, since you judged in Australia?
I mean, I loved it when I filled in for Erin, for the co-host. That was amazing. So I'd love to do, you know, something like that. They used to have All Access, and I used to co-host that, which was really fun because I was a part of the show. Yeah. I was there co-hosting it. If they brought something like that back, that'd be great. You know, they're doing the kids one soon, so being a judge maybe for that, or host.
Oh, is that a possibility?
I don't know. No, I don't know. I'm just like things that I would love to do. So I'm not sure. I mean, Dance with the Stars is amazing, and you're always part of that family.
Totally.
And you know, I was really honoured that they even called me to ask me to fill in for Erin.
Well, so 25 seasons in, what would you like to see the show do from here? The talent pool was so great, but you know, the show's always got to be changing and evolving. What do you think the show could do from here as it continues on?
You know what? I can't believe that they make like each season it seems to get better and better and better. So whatever they're doing, they just have to keep doing the same thing. Like,
keep doing it.
I can't, like, the casting director picking the right cast, like that's such an important thing. Then as far as the producers, like the production value, they just seem to amp it up every single season. Mandy Moore choreographing all of the amazing opening numbers and the bumpers. Like, it's just constantly this excitement.
Yeah, doing the death lifts.
Yes.
Ella says, I believe Jordan might be the obvious choice to take it all, but there could be an upset with Frankie or Lindsey, and Sherry wants Frankie and Whitney to win.
I think there's a lot of support for Frankie, so we could see Frankie take it out too.
He's very lovable.
He really is.
I have a lot of questions on catching up with you. You know, you mentioned that they used your studio for some rehearsals. Tell us about, it's called The Bod.
It's called The Bod by Kym,
yes,
and it's in Beverly Hills. It used to be Richard Simmons' studio, and he was closing the doors, so I decided to take it over, and we do dance fitness classes there. Yeah. I have my mirror balls there, actually, so quite a few people come in and they'll take pictures with the mirror balls and stuff like that. But it's really fun. It's a place where people can come. They can get a great workout in, but they feel like they're dancing. We have Broadway classes, and they come and they'll pretend that, you know, on Broadway. We do an 80s class.
So fun.
We do a diva class, which is kind of like Beyonce. It leaves you feeling like you're in a video clip. So there's all these great fun classes to come and do, and it's more of an experience, I would say. You're coming and you're having an experience, and everyone's really supportive of each other. It's not like a dance studio where you feel a bit intimidated. You'll come in and it's a really warm, friendly atmosphere. I'm always there, doing the desk, taking classes. I do it all.
It. What have you learned about yourself in becoming a businesswoman and opening it?
Wow, it's time management, I've learned. I thought I was pretty good with Dancing with the Stars with that, but having a business, it never sleeps. Like, it's constant. I kind of didn't really think about that until I now have a studio. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, being married to a shark, what advice did Robert give you as you headed into this?
Yeah. He's really, really good. He sort of stays out of it, but if I need his advice, he's always there for me. Each week we go through the numbers of how we were this week so I can keep on track with everything. So he's really good with that. He's just great helping me make sure I don't, you know, I don't have to close the doors or something, you know. So we're just trying to stay on track, and he's really good. He'll come to the studio and help out. He'll get behind the desk. Not that he knows what he's doing.
Well, how are you guys doing? Because obviously fans care so much about your love story. You're about 1.5 years into marriage, I think.
Yes.
How are you two?
Oh, so great. Yeah, we went away for our 1-year anniversary. We went to Europe, and that was great. And it's just amazing. And now Dancing with the Stars just feels like a way we met. It doesn't even, it's kind of hard to even believe we were on the show together. So it just feels like a way we met, and now life's taken over, and it's amazing. We're just living a great life, and we both really respect each other, and helps me out with the studio, which is good. And
you guys seem like you have so much fun together. Even if you look at and follow Kym on Instagram, you guys, but you see like you two dancing together, and you post a picture of him, and you're like, "That's my husband."
I know. We have a lot of fun together. He obviously is working. He works so hard. He travels a lot, and now I've got my studio. I'm working here a lot, but we always make time for each other. Like last night, I'll race home from the studio and he's got dinner ready, and we sit down and watch Dancing with the Stars like fans, you know.
Oh, I love it. What about, also a key element in any relationship is just supporting each other. You're doing things like taking on a new business, or if times do get tough, how do you guys support each other?
Oh, I think that's the number one thing in a relationship: communication, supporting one another. And I guess how we met on Dancing with the Stars, you really get to see someone's personality, because you're going through all these different emotions in a very short amount of time, like fear and excitement and rejection from the judges. Like you're going through all of these emotions, so you really get to know someone very quickly. And it was nice, like, going through that experience together. And and then it just sort of blossomed into a relationship, and then getting married. So it's all felt very, very natural, and we both really respect each other. I think Robert coming into my world, and I was kind of the boss. That was kind of fun, you know?
Likes to be the boss, and now you've got your studio going. I love it. So many people are just, we had lots of people want you on Dancing with the Stars again. So please make it happen.
That's so sweet.
Rachel says, Kym, you were mine and my husband's favorite dancer. You are beautiful and elegant. We miss you.
Oh, that's adorable.
And I loved you so much. I told her this before we started. When you did co-host, I just thought, you had such great insight, and you were so watchful.
Oh, thank you.
It was so fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Also want to ask you, you've just accomplished so much at this point between Dancing with the Stars and winning, and getting married and opening your studio. What do you still want to tackle? What's next for you, or any big things?
There's always things, I think you've always got to grow, always got to be learning, doing different things. The business is definitely sort of where my focus is at the moment, but I still love Dancing with the Stars. I'd love to sort of still be involved in it in some way. Even the Australian version, I was judging on the Australian version, which I loved. The show got cancelled on the network it was on, but hopefully it'll come back, and there's always a possibility of going back and judging that. But I'd love to do a bit more hosting and things like that as well. But the studio is definitely keeping me very busy.
A business is like a baby. Like
it is. It's crazy. Like I'll be going there straight after this. It's constant, and then you've got staff to look after, and clients, and
the whole thing.
The whole thing. So it's a lot of work, but it's a great challenge, and I really like it.
Oh, I love it. Did Robert have kids from? Robert has kids.
Yes.
How was your relationship with them?
Yeah, he has 3 kids.
Oh gosh.
And so
you took on a lot. She's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
And so you've got all of that going on, and would love to see you on the kids' version of Dancing with the Stars. Do you know anything about that?
Not really. Okay. I think they're still just. I know that. I think it's happening, but I really don't know much else about it. But it'll be so adorable. We've actually got kids in my studio that are doing lessons.
How young are kids when they start dancing? Like with Julian and Derek, when did they start?
They started probably when they were 3. I started when I was 3, but not ballroom dancing. I did ballet, jazz, and tap.
Yeah, sure, okay.
But the kids at my studio, they're about 6.
When did you get into ballroom then?
I didn't get into ballroom until I was about 13.
Okay.
I wanted to be on Broadway. Like I was doing musical theatre, and then I fell into ballroom dancing, which was great. All my friends thought I was crazy, because back then it was like, why are you doing ballroom dancing? It's something your grandparents do.
Yeah. Look how it turned out. Again, just everybody is wanting to see you back on the show, and hopefully it will happen, guys. I don't know, maybe if George Clooney decides.
We'll see.
George Clooney said he's kind of sick of acting, so maybe he can just
switch it up.
Yeah. As we do head into the finals, then what is just one piece of advice you would give to these couples?
I think you just have to enjoy it and try not to let the nerves take over, because that can ruin you. And doubt as well. As soon as you get on the dance floor and you doubt yourself, you're ruined. So you have to just go in there and just have fun and enjoy it. You're in the finals.
You made it.
You made it. So now, like, the hard part's done, so you really have to just enjoy being in that final and just put on a show, because people are so excited. They got you to this point. You just have to embrace it now and really go for it.
Who do you think it's going to be?
Oh, it's going to be... Well, I think like someone just said, I think the obvious is Jordan and Lindsey. although Lindsey and Mark have been doing really well.
The thing,
too.
when you look at the points, it's 58
when
to
you look
57.
at the points, they're kind of up there together.
Yeah.
But I think the wild card could be Frankie and Whitney. They could just shoot through the middle.
It's always hard to tell you guys, and it's all about your votes. And we are here in the finals with maybe what is the most talented pool of final contestants we've ever seen. It's really exciting.
It's so exciting. I can't wait. I'm going to go to the finale next week.
Yay, so we will see you back in the bottom.
I'll be back
I
in the
love
bottom next week. Yeah.
Well, guys, make sure to follow Kym on social media and also to check out her dance studio. And you do
say
tons of
hi.
other workout stuff as well.
Oh, yeah,
too.
we do just regular workouts. So come check us out.
Awesome.
And yeah, we've got an online program too. So you can, if you're not in LA, you can go to my website and check out the online
And what's
programs.
the website?
It's Kym at the, gosh, I don't even know.
Check out the website.
Check out
It's
my
okay.
website. I think it's Kym at the bod. Thebodbykym.com.
There
it
you
is,
go.
Thebodbykym.com.
We made it. She's got a lot going on. She's
do.
got to go to the studio after this. So follow Kym on social media and Robert as well. And guys, make sure to tune in to Dancing with the Stars next Monday for the finale. It's next week, and we will be here in the mornings recapping everything. And thank you so much for joining us
Thanks
today.
for having me.
Oh my gosh, I mean,
Thank
so
you.
beloved. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye.